Greetings and welcome to Workforce Education 560, Historical and Philosophical Foundations of Workforce Education and Development. As promised, this is the video that will talk about the assignments for Workforce Education 560. The intent here is to not get into an extensive overview and an extensive, elaborate discussion of all aspects and all facets of each of these assignments, but to provide candidates with some direction, point to some highlights, and to point you in the right path in relationship to these assignments and the activities that are going to be associated with Workforce Ed 560 for this particular semester. So without further ado, let's get going with that. The important information is on the student version of the Canvas webpage. Again, what we're asking you to take a look at here is for the assignments that are all listed here. They're presented along with additional information that is going to be important. Also, you can find these assignments under the files, taking a look at the files assignments folder as well. And so you have a couple of different places where you can find these particular assignments that are going to be important for this particular class. Also, as I talked about, the APA 6th edition manual is going to be very, very important for students to purchase and to own. And this can be purchased through the Penn State bookstore, or this can be purchased online through Amazon or other outlets. This is the APA 6th edition publication manual by the American Psychological Association. And so I encourage you as a must-have, must-read in graduate studies here at Penn State University to purchase that APA manual and to have that available for you. I want to take a look at the assignment sheets and present some information about these and talk with you a little bit about them as we move forward. And so in doing so, I'm just going to open this up a little bit and provide you with some written information that's going to be important. Assignment number one is probably the most significant assignment that you'll do in this particular class because it is broken into 4 particular parts. It is a multi-dimensional assignment, and you have the first half of the semester to actually complete this assignment, which is a significant amount of time. What does that mean? It really means from week 1 you need to be starting on this assignment, not waiting until week 7, because if you wait until week 7, you already will have missed 2 critical talking points and 2 critical assignment parts, 1 and part 2. So having said that, let's get started on this particular assignment with the overview. I'm asking you at the end of this assignment, when it is due for part 3 and part 4, to post an executive summary and also provide me with your PowerPoint presentation so I can post that as well to the discussion board. The assignment itself is looking at the theory and the theorists with their impact and implications in relationship to workforce education and development. This is a comprehensive research paper and a presentation of your findings. And so it is worth a total of 200 points. Having said that, let's take a look at the component parts. Part 1 is due in early September. It's due in week number 4, and basically you need to schedule a phone conference with me and provide a paper outline and an overview of your research plan for this particular topic. The second part of this particular assignment is part 2. It's due in early October, and this is where you provide me during week 7 a final working draft, not a working draft, but a final working draft of your paper, which includes all the component parts and basically is your paper written for review and for feedback. You need to schedule with me a Zoom conference for that paper review during that particular week. These 2 assignment sections, part 1, the paper overview and work and outline, is worth 25 points, and the paper draft with my review and feedback is worth 25 points. The 3rd and 4th sections of the paper, parts 3 and part 4, are the actual working pieces of this particular paper. What you'll find is that the paper itself, the final written theories paper, is due on the 16th, as well as the PowerPoint for my review and for grading purposes. And then the fourth section is your actual presentation of the paper, utilizing the PowerPoint as your means to actually discuss and present the paper, including references. The paper itself is worth 100 points. The presentation is worth 50 points. What you'll do is you will use all of the class resources that are available and that are listed here. And what I'm interested in having you do, and I will provide a mini lecture on the theories in relationship to workforce education and development. And I'll provide you with just a basic overview that will steer you in the right direction for selections of your theory, but also for your research in your theory. There are 4 silos of theories in workforce education and development. The first one is learning theories, which includes such theories as behavioralism, cognitivism, learning theory, social learning theory, constructivism, experiential learning, and brain-based research are those theories that align with workforce development as part of the learning theories. In the career development theories, you have trait factor theory, you have career topology theory, you have life as a career theory, you have planned happenstance theory, and you have career and talent theory, and talent management is a piece of that as well under career development theories. Under the performance, motivation, and HRD theories, you have attribution and motivational hygiene theory, engagement theory, scarce resource theory, human capital theory, chaos theory, organizational theory, among others in that silo. What I'm asking candidates to do is to pick 4 of these related research theories for you to do research on and for you to help find out about why these theories have an impact on your views, your belief, and your professional position of workforce education and development. What I'm also asking candidates to do is I'm asking you to stretch a little, so that if you're in your prior work, you have done a lot of work in constructivist theory, you've done a lot of work in the area of trait factor theory, or you've done a lot of work in employee engagement theory, then maybe those theories are not the most appropriate or the best theories for you to be researching. What I want you to do is research theories that mean something to you, but also will stretch you in what you need to know. Example, most people who are in CTE and who are in education clearly understand behavioralism, its roots, and its leading authors in relationship to the research there. Cognitive theory, cognitive learning theory, we also understand. We understand its differences and similarities with behavioralism, and constructivism is a relatively newer theory in learning theory that is also a theory that most of us in the field of teacher education understand and have a good grasp of. Knowing those theories, to pick those theories and also look at experiential learning as a 4th theory in this assignment, to me, is not meeting the parameters that I would like to have you look at. I'd like to have you stretch. I'd like to have you look at theories that you want to learn more about. I'd like to have you potentially pick theories from all of these silos, not necessarily staying within one silo, because all of these theories have an interaction and have an impact and an influence on what we do in our field. So these are the theories that I presented. These are the silos or the categories of theories as they originate in workforce education and development and have impact and influence. So please review those. Please select 4. The actual assignment tasks are fairly straightforward. What I'm asking you to do is to write a comprehensive research review related to the 4 theories that you pick for this particular research paper. You may use Workforce Education 560 course materials. I have a variety of websites and other elements that are presented for you, and you will want to do a comprehensive review of the literature, including an analysis of the literature search using the Penn State University Library Services. In addition, candidates will need to do a variety of research and a variety of work on their own as outside independent research beyond those materials that I have provided. This is going to require a bit of work on your part. And I am asking in the assignment that you have at least 10 original references that will be supporting the theories and the theorists that you pick, the 4 of them that you select that have impact and implications for this particular research paper in your presenting this for Workforce Education and Development 560. Candidates are to select 4. And again, I want to emphasize the word 4. Of these particular theories that you will do research on. I call this a deep dive. And basically what I'm interested in having you do is identify those theories that you think have a significant impact and an influence on workforce education and training as it currently exists. You will need to use research that will identify the theory, identify the theorists, identify the application, the history, the background, the development, and then the influence and the impact of each of the 4 theories that you choose, including independent research with at least a minimum of 10 original primary research sources for these categories. Candidates are also going to investigate and write a well-researched theories research paper. In their research of the theories paper, you're going to do a comprehensive review of the literature. You're going to look at key concepts. You're going to look at the empirical research on specific theories. You're going to look at the founding fathers or the primary researchers and developers of those theories based on your research. And you will write a comprehensive research paper, which is an informative research paper that will provide the tenets, the theories, the theorists tied to current policy, mandates, programs, services, and practice from your literature review. You will use primary research resources, identifying at least 10 primary references in your reference page. And your paper should be 20 pages in length and have additional research pages and or appendices as needed. This is a comprehensive research paper. And as Ken Gray used to say, if I had more time, I would have written less, which means that you would write succinctly, to the point, with a clear message, with a clear understanding, with clear background, making sure that you are writing succinctly and comprehensively for this particular project. Again, term paper project will include the following components, and it's important to identify these. It will have 4 areas, 4 research theorists. It will have at least 10 original references in your paper. It will support the foundations of those key 4 theories that support your paper, and it will be a comprehensive paper that will be written with philosophical foundations, policy, and practice, and using a variety of additional resources that will guide the research and help you with your class presentation. See the materials on Canvas and also the associated text, class information, and assignment sheets. Your paper PowerPoint slides must include information with critical citations, critical insight listed in APA format, and your PowerPoints will be shared with class. So there are 4 components that are due that are part of this paper. The first component is your paper outline and overview, which is worth 25 points. Scheduling a phone conference with Dr. Harvey, dealing with that. The elements that are here are listed, And the scoring rubric for the 25 points are here and associated with that element of the assignment. Please make sure that you review the scoring rubrics to see how you will be scored on these particular assignments. Paper number 2 is your actual draft of the paper. This is not a working draft with elements missing and notes and to-dos included. This is week 7. I'm looking for a complete paper draft with all components submitted for your theories paper for review by me, and then we will schedule a working session to discuss through Zoom conferencing your working draft outline and your associated paper for this material. Again, the draft paper review scoring rubric is here. Have a chance to take a look at that. It is due week 7. Your actual final finished paper. So after we meet and discuss your draft paper, you will have an additional 2 weeks before this assignment is due to finish the paper, to complete the work, and to have this in final form for submission, and also your PowerPoint presentation ready for class. The PowerPoint and the paper are due on the 16th of October. Prior to class, and then you will actually do an in-class presentation, which is a Saturday session on October 20th. And again, the overview here of the paper is just taking a look at topic introduction, rationale for selection of the theories and the philosophical conceptualization underpinnings, the research base, a synthesis of the research and literature on each of your 4 individual theories and theorists on the topic, and then a summary of the theory and theorists with their contributions to the field, a conclusion section, which is a summative for those 4 theories in relationship to CTE and ODC, HRD for workforce development. Also, the related professional standards. See your professional organizations on the professional standards file in Canvas to help identify and tease out what those standards are that associate and support your conclusions with this paper, research paper on the theories. And then you will include an application of this information for your future professional work in workforce education and development. A link to appropriate history and philosophical foundations as noted above, and this must be written in APA style with correct citations, references, quotations, writing style, and APA formatting. And again, this is the 100-point rubric for the research paper itself. Please review that for component parts. And then the theories presentation. This is worth 50 points, and this is where you actually present your work, you post your PowerPoint, and you will have a Q&A session in class with relationship to the work you did. You're actually going to present a comprehensive presentation of the work that you did for this assignment. The 4 theories that you explored, why they're important, why do they have an association with workforce education, the linkage, the importance, the theory, the background, the application pieces should all be part of this. Plan on an engaging and an active discussion with your colleagues in class for your presentations, and then just be prepared to answer any questions that may come your way. This is the PowerPoint presentation rubric, the scoring guide that's going to be important for you to look at. The issue here is that these theory research papers and PowerPoint presentations are a comprehensive assignment. As you can see, it is research work that is associated with graduate level studies here at Penn State University in the Workforce Education and Development program. Please do these as individual assignments using APA, and as I've suggested, the papers need to be approximately 20 pages in length, plus additional references and potentially appendices as needed. Assignments are due when assignment due dates are presented. If you need to have an extension, you will need to work with your instructor prior to the actual due date, and extensions are only extended to individuals with extenuating circumstances. Again, late assignments will be penalized as the course syllabus indicates. Please go back and review the assignment sheets and the due dates for further information on these assignments. And in assignment number 1, I actually have assignment part 1 in a section, assignment part 2 in a section, and assignment part 3 and 4 in a section. So you'll see the assignment, and then you'll see the 3 associated subsections, which are part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 for this particular assignment. Please review. Let me know if you have any questions, and we will move forward. We'll also talk about this at our first class meeting. So again, review that information. It will be important to understand. Assignment number 2, again, an overview here. My interest with assignment number 2 is to talk about the basics, to provide you with some background information, and to move forward. In assignment number 2, we look at the 5 drivers that push workforce education and development. These are mini papers that I'm asking you to do. The textbook, Gray and Her, and the textbook by Gordon set the stage for taking a look at the development of workforce development, the economics, labor market advantage, and labor market demands. Also a comprehensive overview of career and technical education in America. It's well documented that there's an organizational development and training series in the work that we've written. Also, this is validated by the works of McLean and Wilson and their work in the 2009 International Textbook. Specifically, I want to emphasize this, specifically there is a journal, an article that is presented by Jacobs and Holly that actually talk about these 5 pertinent drivers that have historical and continued value in impacting the field. These 5 drivers deal with globalization, technology, the new economy, political change, and demographic shift. These have had an impact on workforce development here in the United States and across the world, and they've had an impact and continue to develop education, training, and development programs in career and technical education, and also organizational development and change, organizational development and training, and human resource development programs. It's important that candidates understand these 5 drivers. You will use the Jacobs and Holly article from the eReserve, Library Reserves on Canvas to talk about these 5 drivers individually. What I'm also asking you to do is support with work that comes from the textbook, work that comes from the assignments, work that comes from the resources and information on Canvas for Workforce Ed 560. And I'm also asking you to find an additional outside resource for each one of these drivers. So you will also add from the professional literature an article that supports each of these drivers, looking at the issues of globalization, looking at the issues of technology, looking at the issues of political change, looking at the new economy, and looking at demographic shift as those 5 component parts. It's important as far as the assignment to take a look at the tasks. Review the materials, summarize the information, have an outside resource that's going to support that information as well. Conduct independent research and reading, equate that with your professional organizations, and find at least one outside supporting piece of literature with an appropriate citation that is research-based for each one of those drivers. So from there, candidates are to write a mini paper for each of the 5 drivers. These are 5 separate papers that are included in one assignment. So you have one assignment that's submitted, but a mini paper that addresses globalization, a mini paper that's going to address each of those 5 drivers individually. And so those will then be written and supported by your research review and Workforce Ed 560 materials. You're going to summarize this information with the critical points for each driver in each one of those mini papers as well. And so your driver's mini papers will each have a 3 to 4 page in length paper for each mini driver. That will mean that the individual assignment should be approximately 15 to 20 pages in length, written in APA style, and it will also have individual assignments. These are written as individual assignments. So this assignment is one assignment with 5 parts to it. And those 5 parts to it relate to each one of the 5 drivers that are presented by our texts and also articulated by the work that is done by Jacobs and Hawley in their 2009 article. These are assignments that are due when the assignment due dates for each part, component parts, are written as sections with the 5 drivers, and the assignments are due on the due date. And if you need to have an extension, you need to work with me on that extension, as with other assignments. They're only afforded to you after speaking with your instructor and due to extenuating circumstances. Also, late assignments are penalized. In taking a look at the scoring guide for the driver's mini papers, each one of these drivers is worth a total of 25 points. And so what you're looking at is technology, you're looking at globalization as the first one, you're looking at technology as the second one, you're looking at the new economy as the third, you're looking at the political change as the fourth, and the fifth is demographic shift. In addition, you're also looking at 25 points for correct usage of APA writing style. This is your second assignment. I think it's an exciting assignment because you really get to take a look at those 5 drivers in silos, if you will, but then how they interact and how they have influence on workforce education and development. Continued globalization drives our field. Technology has changed the landscape. The new economy, taking a look at how the economy has become much more global and interconnected. Taking a look at political change and demographic shift are going to be those component parts. This is assignment number 2. Please have a chance to review that, and if there are questions, let me know. As we move forward, we're going to look at assignment number 3. And assignment number 3, again, is an overview of the requirements due for this particular assignment. And what I want to do is just bring this into view and then take a look at this as well. This is taking a look at a workforce education issue, an issue in CTE, an issue in education, an issue in HRD, an issue in talent management, an issue in ODC. The issue is your issue that you choose to identify. And then you look at summarizing the drivers and do an analysis that pulls this all together. Collectively, it's an opportunity to take a look at several variables that have impacted workforce development in the United States, including those 5 drivers. It's an opportunity for candidates to expand their work beyond the mini papers where you understood those 5 drivers to now identify their influences on an area of interest, an area of concern, a pressing area of need that is identified in the field of CTE, ODT, or HRD. And so think that you're interested in. For doctoral candidates, This pressing issue might be something that you want to set your research paper and your thesis around, taking a look at your dissertation. For master's candidates who are doing the Masters of Science and have a thesis requirement, this may be an opportunity for you to look at a topic area that is going to influence that writing activity in your advanced degree work. The tasks that are associated with with assignment number 3 is making sure that you use your driver's mini paper and any relevant additional information and additional appropriate sources and citations as appropriate so that you understand those 5 drivers and then can put those drivers in the context of your pressing issue. You're going to need to identify a pressing issue that's validated in the research and in the professional literature. This source is not of social or popular media. This is not something that comes from Twitter. This is not something that comes from Facebook. This is not something that comes from the popular press. This is not something that comes from a publication that is a newspaper or what have you. This is not part of the print media or not part of the TV media or social media. This is a source that comes from the professional literature that is validated, that has citations, references, and supports, and you will need to be using a literature review and identifying literature that supports your pressing issue. So if you're talking about the skills gap, there are significant issues that talk about the skills gap. If you're talking about talent management, there are significant issues that talk about talent management. If you're talking about college and career readiness and the impact for education and specifically CTE, there are plenty of resource articles that identify those pressing issues. So your pressing issue must be valid, it must be politically legitimate, it must come from the professional literature as well, and it must be part of the professional practice, the professional conversation, and the professional discourse where it will have a literature or a research base. Additionally, you're going to use your work on the mini papers, including other comprehensive information, along with information from your theories paper to support this issue and to talk comprehensively about what the issue is. Consider best practices in the field that align with your pressing issue. And the other thing that I'm going to ask you to do in this assignment is, as you've talked about this, now in item number 5, you need to develop an action plan that will actually address how you would move forward with an improvement plan or a resolution to your pressing issue, using the drivers, using the theories, using philosophical foundations, and using other related research. In doing so, I'm anxious to have you develop a blueprint for change. In other words, your action plan are action steps that will move forward with actually doing something about your pressing issue. This is not simply an opinion piece. It is not simply your thoughts. It is using the work from the field. It is using the work that identifies the importance of your pressing issue along with other components that are identified above here in item number 5 to then put together what is a blueprint for change and how would you move that forward. Number 6, address how this information and how this process and also the impact of assignment number 3, enhance your professional knowledge concerning workforce education and how you will potentially use this in application as a summary piece. This particular paper should be about 10 to 15 pages in length. It does follow the APA criteria, and it should be written as an individual assignment. Again, as with other assignments, this is due on the due date. If you need an extension because of extenuating circumstances, you need to follow up with me prior to the due date. And also, the assignments that are late will be penalized per the syllabus. For scoring purposes, on this particular 3rd assignment in Workforce Ed 560 around your pressing issue and the supporting components and then the blueprint for change, please look at the scoring guide and the component parts within the scoring guide around how this will be graded. It's going to be important for you to take a look at. Again, please review assignment number 3. I think this is an exciting assignment because it allows you the opportunity to find an area of importance, to find your passion, to find your area of concern, to find an area of need that's validated in the field that can shape your dissertation or shape your master's thesis or shape the work that you want to learn about in your master's degree in the graduate program in workforce education. It has validity. Tie that to the pressing issues of drivers and move forward with that paper. Please review. Let me know if you have questions about assignment number 3. The first 3 assignments, a theories paper, the mini drivers paper, and your pressing issue with supports from the drivers paper, are all major assignments in this particular course, Workforce Education 560, for this semester. There is a 4th assignment as well. And the 4th assignment deals with discussion boards and discussion board applications and implications for us in the course. And what I have is an overview of the discussion boards that will be posted on Canvas, and then the 4 topic areas or discussion board prompts. Prompt number 1 is defining the mission in workforce education and development. Discussion prompt 2 is taking a look at identifying significant leaders, legislation, and influences, including events that shape workforce education and development and its historical roots. The 3rd discussion post is looking at the complexities of planning for education and work in workforce education, whether it be CTE, whether it be ODT, or whether it be the issues of HRD. Those are going to be the complexities of training in the 21st century. And the 4th discussion post is your reflection, which takes a look at the course content in totality, but also takes a look at the dynamics, the issues, and the challenges in workforce ed. Here I provide you with some background, and literally what I say here is that the discussion boards are our opportunity to engage in meaningful discussion and share information on the Canvas discussion boards with one another. It augments and supports interactions, networking, and engagement above and beyond the classes and the class meetings. And so I hope you will become active and engaged and involved in posting and in sharing and in responding to these 4 discussion prompts. Feel free to post, feel free to share resources, feel free to share information. These posts will be done on PSU Canvas in the discussion boards as we showed you earlier. I'll go back and revisit that as well. Also, these are a great way for you to do some professional networking with your colleagues in the class. Basically, what I do with the prompts is the prompts will provide you with specific information. They're in the modules and they identify the topic that will be posted. The discussion post should be no more than 2 pages in length, and then supportive information. They're due at 5 o'clock. Basically, they're written in APA style. These are also identified in relationship to late assignments being penalized, and the discussion board prompt, the 2-page prompts, need to be submitted to turn it in. This is the grading aspect. The first 10 points is for the discussion prompt post itself. The second 15 points is basically due to your engagement. Are you involved? Are you responding to other people's posts? Are you posting things? Are you providing information? And so it's a 2-pronged approach. One is you're graded for your post itself, and the other is you're graded for your interactions and your engagements around the prompt cycle. So that's the overview of the discussion prompts. And then what I want to do is just look at each of these very quickly just to show you, and then you can have a chance to take a look at these as in more length. But Gray and Her and others define clearly the mission of workforce education. It's very comprehensive. What I want you to do is to talk about what are the most critical elements associated with the mission of workforce ed for today's economy, and then talk about those issues both in education and training. That's a 2-page prompt that you post. And then for consideration, I'd give you just some ideas to consider as you think about the engagement around that prompt, basically responding to other members' prompts and taking a look at your professional experiences and also articulating a clear mission for the field. So that's the first prompt. Again, take a look and have a chance to review that. Questions we'll take a look at and I'll answer as we move forward in the class and also in the first class session. This is the second one, which again takes a look at leaders, legislation, and influences and events that basically have shaped workforce education. What I'm asking you to do here is identify two key elements, a law, a leader, or an event that you feel is most important, most significant in the evolution and development of workforce education from past to today. And then speak to that in 2 pages. Be able to post that on the discussion board post, and then the 4 considerations for the engagement piece, the follow-up and shared information are outlined and shown here as well. The third discussion prompt deals with the complexities of planning for workforce education in the 21st century. Again, we've had a number of resources in the course talk to us about the significant need for training, the significant need for education to close the skills gap, to meet the needs of economics, to meet the needs of technology, to meet the needs of a skilled workforce, to meet the needs of globalization across the spectrum for 21st century workers. What do you think are the most essential aspects there? Frame this particular discussion post. And then for discussion consideration in your interactions with other class members, why do you think it's important that people be aware of these complexities in our field? And then what are the programs and services that you think outline or are associated with best practices? That's the third post that's identified. And the fourth post and the final post is a post that really is a reflective post. This is a post that provides you an opportunity to look at the course, to look at the content, to look at the work that you've done, and speak to the issues of the historical and philosophical foundations, along with the dynamics, the issues, and the challenges that face the field. What I'm asking you to do in this final prompt is to actually do a reflection and answer the 3 key questions that are posed here. This final prompt is a 4-page reflection of the course around these particular prompt questions in that prompt number 4, which is a reflection, and then the scoring rubric that goes with that. Again, these wrap up an overview of the assignments. I want to come back to taking a look at the work that we've done, and in taking a look at that, specify that the assignments are listed here on Canvas. They can be found here. Also, the assignments are found in the assignments sheets with the scoring rubrics that are identified here on Canvas in the files and folders. Additional supportive materials and readings and things you will find in the modules. Additionally, the e-reserves posted from the library resources for Workforce Education 560 will help you, along with the text and the research that you will be doing for all 3 of these assignments that are the major assignments. Remember, the theories paper is a major research paper dealing with 4 specific theories that cover the 3 silos of theories that are associated with workforce education and development: learning theories, looking at career development theory, looking at HRD and performance, motivational theory as well. The second assignment deals with the 5 drivers that are pushing the field forward in relationship to the development of both education and training in workforce education and development. The third assignment, which is a major assignment, is your identification of a critical issue, a critical area of need, or a problem within workforce education and development in either education or training, and then validate that through the professional writings and literature, and then do research that is going to associate with the drivers and other components, including the theories paper, that include elements that support what we need to do in a development of an action plan with a blueprint for change as the third assignment. And the fourth assignment are those four discussion board posts that we've talked about. These are the assignments that frame the learning that help with the content in Workforce Education 560. I think you'll find that they're exciting assignments that will add value to your knowledge and your development as professionals in the field. I look forward to working with you. Please review these assignments. Let me know if you have any questions. My email address is mwh10@psu.edu. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have and look forward to working with you. Thank you.